And welcome to another episode of Football the Pod. I'm your host, Commissioner Ben. Welcome to Football the Pod, Season 4, Episode 4. And we are 2 weeks in, which is 1/7 of the way through the regular season. We just blew through a week with many huge individual player scores, which was a huge difference from last week. And this led to, raising the league floor. Everyone got at least 100 points, so well done. Raised the average score in the league too, but still no one blew the top off. So we've got plenty of parity moving forward for now. But before we get into all that, of course, it is time for Just the Tip with Commissioner Ben. Today's tip is use your IR spots. And this is an early season annual reminder, but it is very impertinent, especially this week, as we've had a flood of injuries already, especially at quarterback with Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, two of the top 5 quarterbacks going down. Joe Burrow's out for like 3 months. Jaden Daniels seems like he'll be out for at least a week. Brock Purdy already went down. Justin Fields is probably out this week too. So this is your annual reminder that as soon as any player gets an out designation, or especially IR, but just that O, you remember the O Cups last year, just that out, that big red O next to their name, move them to your IR and add somebody else. A replacement quarterback, a backup running back, even a defense for next week. It doesn't matter. Just make use of your roster spots. We have 3 IR spots. That's what they're there for. And that was just the tip with Commissioner Ben. And now, for our Week 2 breakdown, we of course require another guest. And what better way to review Week 2 than to bring in the champion of the number 2, our back-to-back second place league finisher, who is also currently 0-2 and is the second league whiffin'. But he remains the original league dad. Let's welcome Mike back onto the pod. Mike.
Hey, Ben.
Thanks for joining us.
Back on. I like that number 2 reference. I might steal that a couple times.
Yeah, favorite number. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly use it for many other things. Luckily, you don't have a Poopy Football Award this week to go along with that, so then it really would have lined up. But
not yet. It is a goal of mine, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an easy goal to obtain. However, like we said, if you specifically target the Poopy Football Award this year, you don't get those $10 in free fab money. So that strategy won't work out. But, this has been back-to-back years where in our annual Murph pod, he's called out your team as being one that has just been hanging by threads after the draft, needing to stave off any major injuries in order to compete. And last year, you, obviously managed to do that well before settling into your now usual second place position. But this year, you got hit hard in back-to-back weeks, losing your namesake George Kittle to IR after week 1, and now likely without Jaden Daniels for at least a week after week 2. What do you think about Murph's back-to-back prognosis, and how are you going to recover this year?
I don't know, man. It's actually back-to-back. He did it to me on the first one too, and I made the finals that year. So I think he's my lucky charm. This time I have a feeling he might be more right, though. This is not looking good. We'll work our way through it, though. Time to hit those trade lines.
You are let's say the co-reigning trade champion. Me and you tend to lead the league in trades, which means we will have to get one done at some point this year. However, you're not in a position of power like you were last year for those trades. Last year, I was trying to scrape the barrel to come back using your roster, and didn't work out for me. But now you got to fill 2 key positions.
That's tough. That's the game you play when you draft a couple of them high. I didn't want to do that going into the draft, but that's just kind of how it felt.
The value is too strong, and now you'll see if you can recover from that with our super thin waiver wire. And let's get into it. As a reminder, get those guest questions in leave some anonymous comments either in WhatsApp, well, not so anonymous there, or I don't even know wherever else you can leave some comments on YouTube just to like make fun of me, whatever. Well, yeah, I could leave a comment to myself to get things going. Maybe I'll do that with my other account. All right, on to fantasy. Our main segment, the week in review, starting off, you know how it goes with the low score. And this was a fun one. It was a tight race to the bottom with this household finding points tough to come by. But in the end, Jason finished 0.7 points ahead of Cassie's 101, who takes home the second Poopy Football Award of the year. Congratulations, Cassie. Time to make your first transaction of the season with your fresh fake $10. Go check your bank account. It is already there for you. So let's see if you ever use it. And moving on to the high score, the champion of week 2, desperate for a win after a disappointing week 1. Congratulations to Scott, who easily took this one down by 10 points with his score of 152. I'm sorry that you won't receive your $10 in time for a Blue Jays playoff dinger parlay. So you'll have to settle for 10 Busch Light. I mean, if those aren't worth a buck each, then I don't know what is. On to our matchups. And, well, since we got now the audio this year and the video, we can do a share screen just like last time. So you can follow along at home both ways with your ears and your eyes if you so choose. So we will start this week. And, well, the order that things appear for me when I look at my Yahoo app, I've never actually compared. I suspect that this is how it is for everybody, that you end up seeing your own team listed first. You know, I'm talking about when you like scroll down to the bottom here and you see all these matchups. Probably everybody sees their own first, but
can confirm that's how I'm seeing mine too.
There we go. I thought so, but because something. Yeah, I guess hypothesis proven. And because of that, well, as you already see, we'll start with my matchup because it's easiest for me to click through. That was myself against, starting to have to really call them ugly boys now, Cassie's team. And we begin with our blowout of the week, as this one, well, does tend to have either the champ or the pooper involved. And this time it's the pooper who really stepped in it this week. Mike, break this one down for us.
Yeah, your team really handled this one. I mean, in spite of a couple subpar performances, Cassie just really couldn't overcome the failures of Henry, Andrews, and the BTJ killer. It's it was a tough week for her team, but there's more coming.
This was Derrick Henry's worst game on Baltimore. I think worst fantasy game in like 7 years since he became a starter. 1.3 points and combined 2.7 points from the Baltimore tandem of Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. That's pretty funny.
That's wild. I'm not looking forward to the Green Bay game this week against Cleveland, but hey, if you're losing hope with Henry, if you think he's getting too old there, Cassie, you know where to find me.
Well, yeah, that is true. I was considering sending Cassie a trade offer, but don't think she's got too much running back depth. But you know what? Maybe she wants a good old wide receiver for a running back. Let's see. Hit us both up. Send 2 offers. see which one of us takes it. Nothing really of note on the bench this week. So, well, this poopy roster needs to have a stronger play from Baltimore next week. I mean, Henry, you can't keep him down for long. Wide receiver 3, I will note, on the week from Jamar Chase. Only the wide receiver 3 with 36.5 points. This was some crazy blow-up scores at wide receiver. And also, we are just in time for a new segment, this flash segment, the fumble of the week. So for that, we switch over to YouTube. Mike, with our incredible background music, run us through this play.
Oh, what a beauty of a kick. Obviously, you target the rookie. You just never know what they're going to do. And look at Caleb Johnson just staring at the ball as the Seahawks pick it up and score the touchdown. What a beautiful play. That's a wise move.
One more time.
Just right over the head. And, oh, yeah, just drops in the end zone.
Right on the kickoff. Tries to touch the ball. Caleb Johnson, rookie, well, running back, kick returner, never a kick returner again. I've never seen that
No,
play in my life.
no, I don't think we'll be seeing him this week.
No, no, no. And well, there
Oops.
we go. That is our fumble of the week. And it is very timely because, well, the fumble play of the week, I don't even know if the music actually played properly there. It probably didn't because of YouTube, so that's okay. The fumble of the week itself is actually a fumble of the draft. Caleb Johnson on my team was the upside running back I was looking for. Clearly, he's probably never going to play all season in this offense. So there we go. The fumble of the week. Let's move on to our second matchup. Scrolling all the way down to who comes up next for me. Well, that would be yourself against Nick. That's right. Week 2 brought on the battle of the Whiffins early in the season, and it was the younger brother riding high early, clearly showing that the mock draft paid dividends, taking it down with consistency, 142 to 123. Let's look at how this actually happened. And you know what? Nick's team of fantasy draft fallers. I got a highlight here. Deebo Samuel, Devontae Adams, and Javonte Williams. These were all guys who I wanted none of in the draft. Seems like nobody else really did either because they fell well below what at least Yahoo said that they should have been drafted at. And all three of them have been great so far. I mean, Devontae Adams showing he still has it at like 32 and a half years old. He's like younger than me, but old for an NFLer. Javonte Williams, like out of nowhere, just like still completely killing it. The RB4 on the week after just like a couple terrible seasons. This just goes to show that I guess sometimes you trust Yahoo and not the rest of the draft league. I mean, all of Nick's roster here, I am just the weak points, getting a 0-0 at kicker and defense, and still managing to pull out the win. That would have been the hilarious finish if the 0-0, the Chase McLaughlin Denver, well, not stack, but combo there. I mean, you completely destroyed Nick at kicker and Baltimore and defense with Baltimore, the combo, the actual stack, getting you 27.5 points. Enough for that. I mean, yeah, your roster just, you had nothing. Keenan Allen is, gotta say, that's looking like a great pick. Starting Kayshon Boutte after the waiver pickup there, that's quite the gamble. I don't know if I would have, definitely great ad. Don't know if I would have started him. At least he got that touchdown on his only catch. How you feeling about Travis Hunter too?
I was going to say, you haven't taken much of a look at my bench still, so I didn't have many other options.
That is true. That is true.
Travis Hunter, I don't know. It's Brian Thomas seems a bit like a diva. I don't know how long he's going to be holding up number one duties for. So if Travis Hunter could take even a chunk of that, I'll take that. But yeah, Nick's team's looking really good already. I mean, got to expect that Denver's going to do a little bit better on defense there. You would have been looking at number one in the league, but I don't know. It's a good team. He's doing well.
Even has the number 3 overall fantasy point getter in our slightly odd scoring league on his bench in Daniel Jones. The waiver wire ad last week would be one of the top waiver wire ads this week. We'll see if Nick has the balls to play him next week over Baker Mayfield, if he can continue that incredible streak to start the year, the career resurgence. He is this year's Sam Darnold. Let's move on to our third matchup, which was Brent against Aaron. And well, as you can see from the score here, Aaron and Brent both continue to start this season how they ended last year's, with Aaron winning and Brent losing. Straight up that simple. In this case, it was 141 to 129 for Big Aaron. Mike, how did this one go?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of our tighter matchups, but even still, it's a pretty big gap between obviously the top tier teams and one of the regular bottom dwellers. But no, I mean, a lot of high scoring coming out of Aaron's team. That's wild. Lamar is unbelievable. Odunze is breaking out, and that seems like a fantastic pick. Bucky Irving's just carrying on from last year. And picking up that Los Angeles defense to play against Vegas. I did that in a different league, and that paid a lot of dividends. It was a good play. Although, I mean, having your kicker, Brandon Aubrey is basically your one of your top point getters for the season. I benefited from that last year, and I can't say much negative about that one.
Maybe there's something to be said about drafting a kicker in the 10th round.
That's right.
Brandon Aubrey was 10 points better than the next kicker that was started in the league this year. There was like a bunch of other guys, some who had like 19 points, but nobody was playing them. So 10 points better. Brent had a 10-point advantage than everybody else at kicker. And, well, it's still, I guess that's what drew him a little bit closer to Aaron here. But look at Lamar Jackson here, 34.5 points, basically the same as what he had last week. And he is your number one overall fantasy player so far, 2 games into the season. I mean, it started off as a joke. Aaron always taking Lamar. Next year, we better not let that happen, because he could very well lead him to a championship once again. And let's get into our 4th matchup. Scrolling all the way down, we go over to Daniel against Christine. And, well, Christine was stuck convincing herself that she deserved better after this 138-107 loss. Let's take a look at the teams here. Mike, how did it go? Did Christine actually deserve better?
I mean, she did. It's unfortunate about Burrow going down, but it seems to happen every year, so it can't be too surprised. Kind of sewered your week. I mean, Higgins probably would have ended up with a better game too. It's just it's a tough pill to overcome. So that combined with, I mean, a couple other underperforming players like Keon. Great week last week, but he seems like he's going to be like this all year, kind of up and down, up and down. Just got to hope he hits. And while at the same time, Daniel's getting gigantic performances from Wandale Robinson out of left field, right? I mean, where's this guy coming from again? But hey, kudos to him. I mean, and then look at Amon-Ra. That's a ton of points, 3 touchdowns. That's a wild week. I mean, it's hard for anyone to keep up with that.
Yeah. The Sun God will probably be a top 20 scoring, probably top 10 scoring week at the non-QB position on the season. He was the number 1 wide receiver on the week. This week, very easily, 3 touchdowns, 115 receiving yards, 9 receptions. That is what you expect. Great pick in the late first round there. But Wandale Robinson, absolutely 28 points. The wide receiver 5 on the week, catching deep balls from Russell Wilson. I mean, not your standard 7 for 35 line that you expect from Wandale. And really, I mean, that was, if he gives you that 735 line, then then Christine still loses because of Joe Burrow, but it's at least a little bit closer.
True. And then, I mean, I'm just looking down here and taking a look at Daniel's bench. That's an unbelievable score off the 5 players. That would have been in contention for, I mean, beating Poopy Football last week anyways. That's nuts.
Just the bench who would have almost beat the Poopy Football Award. That's right. Yeah, Jared Goff on Daniel's bench, the top scoring player in fantasy in our league, at least this week, with almost 44 points. I mean, no one played him, as you can see, but Jared Goff will give you those weeks, all of a sudden 5 touchdowns out of nowhere. And as is tradition, those always happen on somebody's bench.
Of course.
But Daniel's team definitely looking real strong when you got a bench like that, one of the strongest benches. However, I will say that, it's not all doom and gloom for Christine. You can throw Joe Burrow on the IR now. For everybody watching, that's what that IR means. Look at that. There's it right in the example. Put that player on your IR, and you can swap Caleb Williams right into that starting quarterback slot, because, I mean, he's been showing that he can rush this year and giving you a pretty solid baseline. Getting 20 points from Caleb Williams as a baseline each week is going to be not so bad to replace Joe Burrow. Let's move on to our 5th matchup, where we go over to those fear boners against the pineapple. That's Jason against Sarah, and Sarah's ananas clearly gave Jason's squad all fear boners, scaring him into an easy 134-102 loss. And all right, if you're looking at video here, just check out the consistency of Sarah's roster. That is what led her to victory this week. Outside of kicker and defense, who are highly volatile positions, 7 points at kicker, 5 at defense. Everybody else is in the double digits, other than Aaron Jones, who went out with an injury. So Sarah's lost Aaron Jones to a hamstring. He's on IR now, out for at least 4 games. But other than that, just like solid contributions from the roster all around. No complete studs went off. However, I will say that getting another 6 for 60 and a touchdown line from Zach Ertz is basically the equivalent of going off. Getting 18 points, that's back to back like top 5 tight end finishes for Zach Ertz. You can't go wrong there. Zay Flowers still just commanding targets, even if he didn't come down with a touchdown this week. He is looking like a steal in the draft as well, as truly the number 1 target on Baltimore. And CeeDee Lamb finally coming through, not even with a touchdown yet, but still getting those 20 points. Once you throw in a touchdown, he'll be a top weekly receiver. On the other side, Jason's side, really wanted that Kyler Marvin Harrison Jr. stack, but when you're only getting a combined 20 points from them, that is not going to lead you to victory. Kyler is picking up where he left off last year, which is, simply mediocre. However, I will say, I don't know how we let James Cook fall so far. I'm wishing I took James Cook instead of my second and third round pick. Another 25 points for James Cook this week. Otherwise, pretty meh overall for Jason's roster. And let's move on to our second last matchup of the week, which brings us to Brandon against Eddie in our first tight butthole matchup of the year, with Eddie clenching his way to a 134 to 129 victory. And I will say this was a tight butthole on paper, at least, with this 5-point differential. But in reality, this one was over by Sunday night. Even if Omarion Hampton tried his best to fumble away some of Eddie's points, very luckily, that final, clearly Hampton's fumble, was given to Justin Herbert. And Omarion Hampton, the fumble, he loses 2 points, maybe even 3 points with the lost fumble. Oh, no, just 2 in our league scoring. He would still have gotten the win. But Eddie carried by Drake May at quarterback, who maybe is breaking out, showing that he can rush in touchdowns too consistently, and probably still the steal of the draft. He could be the top running back overall this year in Christian McCaffrey.
That Drake May pick's looking like a great one. That's he's doing well.
Yeah, 30 points. And other than those two top scorers, certainly some disappointments on Eddie's side as well. These rookie running backs this year are just not showing up early. 3.5 points, like I said, from Omarion Hampton. But the rookie wide receivers are doing just fine. A solid 16-point game from Tet McMillan. Over there on Brandon's side, you had that massive blow-up week from Josh Allen last week. Then you're going to get these games from Buffalo when they just get up early and they can just grind it out with the running backs, and Josh Allen doesn't need to do anything. And so that 11 points from Josh is, that will be your 5-point differential easily there. He gives you a standard week of like 18 points, and Brandon gets the win easily here, thanks to really strong showings from his early round picks, Puka Nacua and Devon Achane, both of them over 26 points. I'm not worried about Brandon's team. I still think Brandon's team is quite strong, and Eddie's if Terry McLaurin can get going, he'll continue to develop. Let's move on to our final matchup of the week, where we have Scott against Sean. And as you already know, this matchup was our champion of the week, or involved our champion of the week at least, which clearly means Sean must have lost. Even with the reasonable showing, he still suffered a 152 to 129 defeat. Mike, what did you see here?
In spite of some really poor performances on Scott's side, that's an unbelievable feat to get that to grab that top score of the week. Taking a look at, Justin Fields what a flip from week 1, dropping down to 3 points, and then Pacheco looks like trouble for the season, and then you got a couple other guys that are sub 10, but that can happen. But looking at Sean's team, it's Bo Nix was working, JSN was going, George Pickens got involved. Once Breece Hall starts to slow down a little bit here and Hawkinson's not performing, it's hard to keep going. And then those Philly receivers, they're being held back a little bit because that team's just too good. They just run and run and run, and no one can really slow them down.
Yeah, yeah. There was tons of real-time analysts predicting that Philly was going to have to throw more this year, that Jalen Hurts was going to get the ball out, and it's just been even worse than last year. So
Yeah.
for now, those Philly receiver picks are not looking hot. That's less than 10 points again from DeVonta Smith, and that's even more points than he had last week. Just over 9 points this week. However, the Bijan, really nice to have Bijan Robinson on the roster. He's just going to be super consistent all week. However, his upside is still capped by Tyler Algier getting out there and stealing touchdowns and rushing yards. Tyler Algier had like 15 points, only 5 less than Bijan. And, all right, like you said, consistency does not win you fantasy weeks. Consistency will give you a pretty good record, but if you really want to win fantasy championships, you want these high variance, massive blow up weeks. You already called it out. Justin Fields less than 3 points, Pacheco less than 4 points. Some really, truly abominable showings here, but it doesn't even matter. Your quarterback doesn't even need 3 points when you've got Malik Neighbors as the wide receiver 2, getting you almost 38, and Jonathan Taylor as the running back 1 on the week, getting you almost 30 points. Those blow-up scores are what win it in fantasy, easily making up for extreme low scores. Take a quick note of these guys' bench. Anything of note on the benches here?
Where did Danny Brown come from? What a solid stat line to put up for somebody who wasn't really on radar.
But, 17 points for Danny Brown, that's right.
And I mean, Ramondre seems to be holding your guy down a little bit there, Travion, so we'll see how long you can keep that up.
Yep, I hope Ramondre stops playing, but 21 points here is not looking good for Travion Henderson. I had these teams' benches because I got to say both of them have got real promising players. You can easily start Ramondre Stevenson right now. I think Jaden Blue is going to come on strong on Scott's side. Diami Brown is clearly playable. Is the only one who seems to be able to catch passes in Jacksonville right now. But that's it. That's the week 2 wrap. I will stop screen sharing. Some mediocre real-life football to finish off the week as well. The NFL needs to get some more from its Monday Nighters, I have to say. But
that LA Vegas game had potential, but they just kind of held each other down a little bit.
Oh yeah, that was such a disappointing finish. Yeah, I mean, what's going on? I talked about the rookie running backs with like Ashton Genty. I mean, he fell to the second round in our draft, and that seemed like a steal. But he's got nothing done all year too. It's 2 games, but he was
2 games. Those guys take a couple of weeks to get rolling.
See
how they look in October.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Wait, sell while they're still up there.
Hey, I need running backs. So if you want to dump off your running backs to me, I'll give you some wide receivers. But let's spice it up ourselves with some closing quick fire questions for Mike. Haven't seen any of these questions before. They are all football focused. So let's go. This pod is going to go up most likely after our waivers have rolled tonight. We are recording on Tuesday, September 16th. I forgot to say earlier, but there you go. There's a date. They'll probably go up, in the middle of the night for most people, probably slightly before waivers roll. So maybe only Eddie will know because he'll hear this. Who's your top ad this week, and how much are you paying?
Take a look at who else here. Eh? How much are we paying for? Who do we got out here? I mean, there's 2 backup quarterbacks that are coming in one game that looks like it'll be a shootout. And where did they go? I lost them. So we've got the guys from Minnesota and who else is going with them? Cincinnati. So those guys coming in. That could be a shootout.
Jake Browning on the Bengals against Carson Wentz on Minnesota.
That's right. So we're looking at some bad defenses and a bunch of high-scoring players. Let's see what they can do. But also there's Franklin on Denver. He's been commanding most of the targets in Denver. That's who I'd be betting on. Probably a $5 to $7 bet.
All right.
Let's see how she goes.
5 to 7 on Troy Franklin. Yeah, he had a nice game on Denver this week. And so, I mean, that leads into my next question. Last week's most expensive player was Quentin Johnson, QJ, at $17. Pretty similar to Franklin this week. Was that $17 for QJ worth the money?
I don't know. It's can't count on them keep getting touchdowns every single week, but getting these guys at the start of the year, if anything ever happened to Allen or to McConkey, then he's in for a big increase in targets. So it could very well be worth it. Might as well spend the money now and get it for the season. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, yeah, I didn't need to spend $17, but $9 differential down to the next bet. I'll take that $9 all day to make sure I got him. I kind of expect Franklin to go for about the same price. I'm calling a $15 to $20 bid that will take down Franklin this week. Let's see if that happens. Maybe it'll be me. Who knows? All right. You love young players. By season's end, who's going to be the best rookie to have on your fantasy team, and who's the rookie sleeper who's about to break out?
To me, Hampton, I think, is going to be dominating by the end of the year. Chargers always, by all accounts, want to start running. So, we're sticking to Chargers camp, but they're the hotness right now, right? That's a big one. And then there's I've heard the name Kyle Williams. I've seen him play a little bit. He's a tall guy, big guy on New England. There seems to be a void at who can catch passes on that team. So he could very well be a deeper sleeper.
That is a deep cut. I like it.
By the end of the year.
Yeah. I took him in some best ball drafts. He was going in pick 160 range, which those are just flyers at that point. So, all right. I love the call out there. Let's see if I'm sure Kyle Williams is on the waiver wire. So maybe you want to go stash him.
We just saw him. He was on someone's roster already.
Wow. I'm surprised somebody's got Kyle Williams.
Everybody in this league seems to be very wise.
People know. People are doing the research. Murph was right. All right. What is your biggest draft regret?
I didn't resist the temptation. I shouldn't have gone tight end, quarterback back to back in 3-4. The Kittle dropping to me got me too excited, too fired up, and then seeing Daniels still there after those other quarterbacks went on the way back. I couldn't say no. I should have grabbed somebody like Metcalf or some more wide receiver running back depth. The running backs were a little short at the time, but the
running backs were completely dry. Yep.
Yeah, they went really quick. With all those tight ends and quarterbacks slipping, that'll happen.
Those are great values in a vacuum. But I agree. Now you're seeing how that lack of running back and receiver depth might be hurting you a little bit, especially when you've injured both those players too.
That's true. It's interesting to see the comparison because Daniel did it right before me. Like the pick before me, same top 4 picks. We'll see how it pans out over the year versus on an uninjured team versus an injured team. But
maybe unfair comparison, but I agree. I do want to see how that plays out. And all right, well, what player do you wish you had on your team most right now?
Most right now? Well, somebody. Really, any running back with a good quality offense. Chase Brown is not living up to standards, but he's getting somebody like Bijan will be unbelievable. But for more attainable players, I'd have to think honestly with Daniel's going down. Daniel Jones would be an amazing for me.
That's a great pick.
So I could take anyone really.
Yeah, send a trade offer to Nick to get Daniel Jones. Wonder what he's worth right now. All right, well, and closing things out, who do you want to beat the most in your next head-to-head this year?
Oh, do I have a rematch do I have a rematch coming up for the finals?
You get one rematch, right? You played. You had your finals rematch to start off the year.
Seward that one. Seward won against Nick. So let's go with the matchup against you. Wow. Always a pleasure to take you down.
It is always a great matchup that we have, and you do tend to beat me normally because I've skewered my roster by sending players to you. So we'll see if we get that far this year by the time we play. And that closes things out with what place are you going to finish this year?
The regular season, probably 8th.
All right. And then that means second place overall?
That means second place overall.
All right. Love it. Hey, you're still making money each year, no matter what. And that's it. Week 2 is over, and we're fully in the swing of things. Mike, a huge thank you for stepping up and joining the pod. Any final words going into week 3? And for the final question, who do you want to see next on the pod?
Oh, I mean, I got to get on board with Daniel. We got to get him out here at some point, unless it's your throwaway account on that side. But
my throwaway account. It's Eddie's throwaway account.
We haven't gone down this path yet. Time to investigate.
That's true. Nobody has accused me. I agree with that.
No, let's. But I mean, otherwise, let's tighten up these matchups. A lot of blowouts. I mean, only one within 5.5 points so far. Let's. Everything else is blowouts. Let's tighten them up, and hey, a good season, everybody, so far.
Great start. I agree. But yeah, let's get some more sweats heading into Monday night. So far, haven't really been any. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And until next week, have a great week.